From a humble log cabin to the White House, the story of Abraham Lincoln is a testament to the power of perseverance, principle, and the enduring spirit of a nation born in 1809 in rural Kentucky. Lincoln's early life was marked by hardship and loss, growing up in a one-room cabin. He was largely self-educated, devouring any book he could get his hands on. This thirst for knowledge would become a defining characteristic, shaping the man who would one day lead America through its darkest hour. As a young man, Lincoln tried his hand at many things. He worked as a rail splitter, a shopkeeper, and a postmaster. His lanky frame and folksy humor made him a popular figure, but it was his sharp mind and unwavering integrity that truly set him apart. He studied law in his spare time and was admitted to the bar in 1836. His journey into politics began in the Illinois State Legislature, where he served for 8 years, honing his skills as an orator and a statesman. It was during this time that he met and married Mary Todd, a spirited and intelligent woman who would be his partner through the triumphs and tragedies to come. Lincoln's political ambitions eventually led him to the national stage. In the 1850s, the United States was a nation deeply divided over the issue of slavery. Lincoln, who had long believed slavery was a moral wrong, re-entered politics with a renewed sense of purpose. His famous series of debates with Stephen Douglas in 1858, though he lost the Senate race, catapulted him to national prominence. His eloquent arguments against the expansion of slavery resonated with many in the newly formed Republican Party. In his House Divided speech, he famously declared, "A house divided against itself cannot stand. I believe this government cannot endure." Permanently half slave and half free, these words were not just a political statement. They were a prophecy. In 1860, against all odds, this self-taught lawyer from the frontier was elected the 16th President of the United States. His election was the final trigger for the southern states. Before he even took office, 7 states had seceded from the Union, with more to follow. The Civil War began just a month after his inauguration. The nation was torn in two, and Lincoln was faced with the monumental task of preserving it. The early years of the war were bleak for the Union. Defeats on the battlefield were common, and public morale was low. Lincoln faced immense pressure, not just from the Confederacy, but from within his own government. He was criticized, ridiculed, and underestimated. Yet, he remained steadfast. He proved to be a masterful wartime leader. He was not a military general, but he had a keen strategic mind. He tirelessly studied military tactics, appointed and dismissed generals, and guided the Union's war effort with a firm hand. His leadership was about more than just strategy. It was about inspiration. He knew he had to redefine the purpose of the war. On January 1st, 1863, he issued the Emancipation Proclamation. This executive order declared that all enslaved people in the rebellious states shall be thenceforward, and forever free. It was a bold, transformative act. It changed the legal status of millions and turned the war into a fight not just for the Union, but for human freedom itself. This pivotal decision also allowed African American men to enlist in the Union Army, adding crucial strength to the war effort. Perhaps Lincoln's most enduring words were delivered in November 1863 at the dedication of a soldiers' cemetery in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. The battle fought there had been a turning point in the war, but at a staggering cost. In just over 2 minutes, Lincoln delivered the Gettysburg Address. He spoke of the nation being conceived in liberty and dedicated to the proposition that all men are created equal. He honored the soldiers who had given their last full measure of devotion and called upon the living to ensure that government of the people, by the people, for the people, shall not perish from the earth. His brief, powerful speech redefined the meaning of the war and the very essence of American democracy. It remains one of the most famous speeches in history. By 1864, the tide of the war had turned in the Union's favor. Lincoln was re-elected for a second term. In his second inaugural address, delivered just a month before the war's end, he showed no signs of triumph or malice. Instead, he spoke of healing and reconciliation. He called on the nation to act with malice toward none, with charity for all, to bind up the nation's wounds. His vision was for a reunited country, one that could move past the bitterness and division of the war. He wanted a just and lasting peace, not a punitive one. He believed in forgiveness and rebuilding, laying the groundwork for the difficult process of Reconstruction on April 9, 1865. Confederate General Robert E. Lee surrendered. Effectively ending the Civil War, the nation rejoiced. The long, bloody conflict was over, and the Union had been preserved. Lincoln could finally look towards the future and the monumental task of bringing the country back together. But just 5 days later, the nation's joy turned to horror on the evening of April 14th. While attending a play at Ford's Theater in Washington, D.C., President Lincoln was assassinated. The man who had saved the Union was gone. His death plunged the country into a profound state of mourning. The captain who had steered the ship of state through its most violent storm was lost just as it reached the shore. Abraham Lincoln's legacy is immense. He is consistently ranked as one of the greatest presidents in American history. He was a complex man of deep conviction, humility, and extraordinary wisdom. He led the country through its most perilous trial, abolished slavery, and laid the foundation for a more inclusive and unified nation. His life story, from the log cabin to the White House, is a powerful reminder that true leadership comes not from privilege, but from character, courage, and an unwavering commitment to a cause greater than oneself. His words and his actions continue to inspire people around the world to strive for a more just and equal society. Thank you so much for watching. If you found this story as inspiring as we do, please hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the lives of historical figures who shaped our world. We'll see you in the next video.